So looking at our first draw here, Surtur, Fate, Blink, and Haste and Fatalis. The good early game cards here are Surtur and Fate. Blink you can keep. I don't think I want to, because it's a better card late game when you can really move important people around rather than just move them right up to you. Haste and Fatalis is something that I really can't afford to play in the early game, because in the early game I kinda want to get out things on the board instead. So instead we draw Cursed Hunter and Ymir, and Cursed Hunter is a really good early game card. So we're probably gonna look into play that for next turn. Yes, we could use. We do not want to use Fate, because this deals up to 2 damage. This deals 2 damage to up to 2 enemies. Anyone has 1 enemy out right now, so it will only deal 2 damage to Ra. And we want to keep it for when we can use it to deal 2 damage to 2 enemies instead. So not right now. We could use our mana potions and play Surtur. That's an option. I don't think I'm gonna go ahead and do what I said and put on the archers. And I want, as a Norse, you want to advance, and unless you're up against another Norse, as Norse you want to hit them in the face generally. If you're Norse versus Norse, then most likely you're both probably rushing to try to finish the other leader off. And if you're not the most aggressive one, you're gonna lose by hitting them in the face. So you want to be careful in a Norse versus Norse matchup about hitting people in the face. So he goes down into the bushes and tries to hide. He can't hide in the bushes really that well, because I can just move Odin up next to the bushes and get full vision. And since we have kept our Fate from last turn, we could use it now to take out to a Therm Circuit and finish him off with Odin. But what else we could do, again, conserving our Fate. Yeah, so if I attack Circuit with this archer, that's 1 damage, he has 2 left. And then if I put out Surtur, and I want to put Surtur as close to my minions as possible, so I'm going to put down him here. And this gives Odin 1 extra attack, which means I can finish off Circuit. And I'm taking 3 damage in return, and it's not the end of the world. But again, be careful if the other player is playing aggressively. You don't really want to overstep yourself and get yourself into a tricky position where he can just use cards like Backstab and finish you off pretty quickly. Fortunately, Ra and Egypt doesn't really have any good way of putting out damage quickly on your leader without having minions on the board. In general, Ra is a very late game card, so we're not going to have much trouble in the early game. My deck isn't also centered around the aggro part as much now, which means I'm again kind of fine with what's going on right now. Okay, so he executed our Surtur. It's not an ideal use of an execute. Execute cost 4 and the Surtur cost 3, so it's a trade that I like, and a trade that he really shouldn't have done. We have 4 mana right now, it's barely visible, but we have 4 mana. So what we are looking at right now is to put out Ymir, since we have kept our mana potion this long. And the reason why I want to put out Ymir instead of Cursed Hunters is because Ymir puts a lot more pressure on the board than the Cursed Hunters. The Cursed Hunters he can kill off with 1 health. The backside of putting down Ymir is if he has another execute in hand, he's probably gonna use it right now on Ymir. And that wouldn't be great for us, as you can imagine. Egypt has a lot of these insta-kill spells. They have Execute and they have Last Breath, which is really nothing you can do about. But I don't think he has one. No, he's looking like putting out a minion, I think, at the moment. He hovered over a card and now his icon is hovering somewhere on the board. This is a good position for us in general if we can't finish off Ymir, because that means that we can take out whatever he's putting out on the board next turn, unless it's a Geb, or even a Geb we can take out right now, but he doesn't have Geb, he has Circuit. Okay, so we can't get Ymir around to attack Circuit, which means we only have Odin to attack Circuit, and we want to take out Circuit, because even if Circuit's a bad, generally not a good card at the moment, her ability could do this insta-kill to us as well and take out the Ymir, which is it's not ideal. So what we're looking at here is, since we have kept our faith this long, we might as well go ahead and use it. And before moving up with Odin, I want to put out Skadi in this bush, so Skadi is also protected from things like Execute. And then we move up Ymir and we can actually start hitting him in the face. So yeah, he has two big threats on the board right now he needs to take care of, both Ymir and Skadi. I know Ymir seems like the bigger threat, but Skadi, when you play Skadi, you see the invoke, add an additional Calder to your hand, and Calder has +1/+2 to his stats when Skadi's on the battlefield. So he's really a 3/4 minion, 3 attack, 4 health, and he is only a 3/4 minion when Skadi's on the board, otherwise he's a 2/2 minion. And Skadi can really cause a lot of trouble for him if he doesn't take care of it, simply because there's no limits to how many Calders you can have on the board as well. He's putting down on her and continuing to use Emperor's Health. Emperor's Health, it's a debatable card. Most people doesn't like it at the moment, simply because it really doesn't do anything. It gives you a little bit more health. It helps you hold out for late game a little bit more when you really want to shine as Egypt. But we drew another Fate, which lets us deal with the honor, which we want to do. It will put us at 8 health, but again, as I said, Egypt doesn't really have anything that can hit us in the face right from the get-go. Unless he also has a charge. It's a possibility, and probably something I really shouldn't be counting on that he doesn't have. But I guess he doesn't have it. So I'm going to slap him, and what I'm going to do is to put out Calder there, and I'll explain that right in a second. So first I explain what I did with Skadi there, so he didn't attack me back. I used Skadi's ability, and you can't do return damage on abilities, so I just dealt 2 damage to an enemy and reduced his movement by 1. So right now Ra has 1 movement, and why I put Calder here was simply because he has now nowhere he can move with Ra on this turn. He can still spawn units here, and here, but he can't move his leader out of the way, which puts him in a really tricky position. And he goes ahead and uses Last Breath, and if he had something better, that would have been better to be played, because I still have lethal next turn, because Last Breath doesn't kill the minions at the end of his turn, he kills it at the end of my turn. And bring it up here. Poison up to 2 random enemies, non-leader enemies. Poison enemies are killed at the end of their next turn. So when I finish my turn now, they both Calder and Skadi will die. But it doesn't matter, because I can put out 4 damage from Ymir, I can put out 3 damage from Calder, and I can finish him off with